it's still August. It's still stupidly hot because, yeah, Texas, Gulf Coast. But I do have a fire going. I kind of just wanted a fire. Had some mulberries growing on this tree up the road where I used to live, and I went and picked a whole jar of them and just kind of cooking them down into a paste. I had a little bit of sugar left. Maybe make a jam out of it. I don't know. I just felt like cooking something, man. Like sometimes you just do stuff out here to kind of remind you what civilization was. Like, cause it's kind of falling down, dude. The trees and the grass are just taking over everything. Roads, boom, boom, poles. I'd hate to see what it looks like where that, what is it, kudzu or whatever the hell it is. Like, the only reason it wasn't taking over the world down there was because they were cutting it and burning it back and sicking goats on it. And then it's got to be just running amok. Either way. So yeah, I was trying to get back into Santa Fe and was going down this road, and apparently I'd missed this thing off to the right of the road. Like there's just wrecks and shit everywhere. And apparently somebody had kind of put up a half-assed like barricade off to the side, like woods and stuff, and it said something about checking in and like spray paint. Somebody had made a checkpoint, and I missed it. And I turn around, this dude's pointing a fucking shotgun at me, man. I don't know who the hell he is. A younger guy, you know, not a teenager, but like his 20s. And he's got a gun drawn on me, got me beat. And I'm like, hey, what the fuck, you know? And he's like, who the hell are you? What are you doing? And I started just giving me the night, you know, just like, where you from? Where you going? Why are you here? And I'm like, dude, I grew up here. I'm coming to check out my family. He asked me for ideas. Like, I got a driver's license, and that's it. You know, and I started mouthing off. Well, it got on my last nerve, and I don't like people pointing guns at me, right? So I started getting mouthy with this idiot. I know he could have killed me, but I am tired. I am stressed. The world is coming undone. Like, I've never felt as much stress ever. And so I'm just kind of mouthing off. That gallows humor hits you. You think, you know what? Fuck you, dude. Like, I got no use for this. You know, I was like, yes, everything's trying to kill me right now. The way things are going, well, I'll be dead in a week anyway. What the fuck ever. So he starts telling me some communist pinko shit. I was like, dude, what is this, the 50s? Shut the fuck up. It's like, you know, you try to be McCarthy, and he's like, who? And I'm like, oh, that's the genius I'm working with here, man. Like, this is the town that still had, like, racist-ass signs on the road in the 90s when I went to school here. Like, I can tell you some horror stories about the racism and bullshit in this town, but that's where Dad lived, man, so... this guy's running his mouth and shit, and I'm just like, alright, I'm gonna die right here. So he starts yelling, kind of pushes me over to where, you know, the ditch is, because, you know, there was like the little checking thing. I don't know, there's a couple of people laying in his fucking ditch. Like, he had taken, like, sheets, and then it's fucked up as it is, it was funny, because there was bodies laying there, blood-stained sheets over them. You can tell you got, like, one or two of them, and then somebody's covered in a blue one with little rubber duckies on it. And this other one had, like, some rainbow shit, which, knowing this guy, he probably thought was fucking funny, because he probably shot somebody he thought was gay, or was attracted to, or whatever, and threw this blanket over him. Fuck this guy. And, I said, man, you're running out of linens here, man. I got plenty of shotgun rounds. Oh, fucking whatever. You know, the shotgun, I was like, you motherfucker, you guys come down here, and all this kind of shit. Said something about, you know, deep state, something or other, fucking yelling at me. And, so I get on my knees, I was like, fuck you. And I was trying to think of the quote about better to live on your feet than, you know, die on your feet than live on your knees kind of shit. And I'm like, wait, you know, I actually hold up a hand towards this guy. I was like, hold up. What the hell is the quote about dying on your feet or whatever it is? What the shit? And he shoulders that gun. I was like, yep, here it is. And fucking down he went. This guy crumpled. Like, when you actually see somebody shot, this is not a movie where they get hit in the face and they stumble around for 5 minutes. This guy's part of his right side of his head just fucking evaporated, and he crumpled. Like somebody cut the strings on a marionette, just down he went, blap. I'm like, oh shit, I might have peed a little. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of liquid fear in my boot. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And I look up, and there was some dude with a rifle, one of those AR jobs, on his shoulder, and he points it at me. I'm like, whoa. He's like, yeah, all right, and he sets it down. And come to find out, this guy comes running the door. He's like, he's been killing people left and right. I don't know what the fuck's going on. This guy kicks him, kind of spits on him a little bit, and he's got his little straw cowboy hat on. And I'm like, all right, this might be one of the good old boys I grew up with, but I didn't recognize him. I have no idea who he was. But he's from that town. So his name was Hal. Call him Hal. I don't know what the hell that means. But, so he asked me questions. He's like, why in the fuck would I go kill you? I was like, because he's a racist piece of shit. Or he called me a commie or something. He's like, are you a commie? I was like, I don't know if commies are still a thing outside of China, dude. I can't tell you. And he said, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm trying to get to go see my family. He's like, me too. So we walk together. So we get out there, and, we're not like bloody shoulder to shoulder walking. We're both kind of keeping on each other. I picked that shotgun off the exploded guy. He only had like 2 extra rounds in his pocket, so not a lot of that. But now I feel less disarmed. I do have my pistol, but it's in my bag. But, a lot of people are faster on a draw. But if you just carry a shotgun with you, I guess it's the safest bet. So we're walking. This guy, he's a couple years younger than me. Told me he went to school with my brother. I apologize profusely. Well, we walked down 646 towards our hometown. And he said he was worried about the next storm coming in, that he had heard whatever. He was working with the government, trying to get home, and everything went to shit. And but he lived over in the Triple Bar, the little subdivision, like the one subdivision that Santa Fe has, that isn't just rich people walled off thing. It's the best place to go, or was it the best place to go trick or treating? I miss trick or treating, and I'm gonna miss it even more this year. But he lived over that way. His family was there. So he's heading back. He had seen a few people, and then I started looking behind us down the road. You could see a couple people trickling in, walking, One was like dragging a wagon, like not like a little red wagon with those foldable cloth ones, But we're walking back, and we're talking about, like some law enforcement when our military gets here. Where the hell's our military at? He's like, well, I don't know. A lot of us were shipped overseas. They were in the Middle East. They were handling stuff over there, or getting ready stage to go do something else. So a lot of them just aren't stateside at the moment. That aren't, trainees or just local people working logistics. They're infantry first or whatever he said. And I was like, yeah, I get it. But so I walked back, and I told him about the people at the Walmart thing. He's like, that sounds about like people, and it'll probably go wrong as soon as it did. And I told him about this morning. And he's, yeah. And it was weird just to talk to a person just walking down the road. Like I used to when I was a kid. We'd raid the couch for change. I mean, my buddy'd go walk down the road 5 miles as 7-year-olds to go buy Jolly Ranchers for a dime. But you just walk and talk, man. You listen to the trees. There's no cars coming, so we're just walking down a pavement. The closer we get to town, the less and less cars there are. Didn't hear anything from the houses. Didn't see anybody in the houses. You could see some were kind of screwed up from the storms. And, a couple of them were just kind of flattened, whatever. But the road was relatively clear. And me and Hal walked down the road, man. I owed the guy. I asked to come with him, whatever. He's like, no, you need to check on your family. I said, well, I can at least walk towards the front of Triple Bar, And we walked down that way. Now, right at the intersection 646 and 1764, that's where the cop shop is, the police department. And we're like, well, maybe somebody's there. We can tell them what's going on or ask what's going on, whatever. We got there. There was only one car in the parking lot up front, and I didn't see any patrol cars in the back. And we went to go into the lobby to open the front of it, and it was just locked. It was just like, nope. We banged on it and rattled the shit. Like, but don't want to bang too hard. You get shot at. These guys definitely got guns, So rattled on it, and nobody was there. And down here in this little town, it's like usually you could hear a siren or a train or the traffic or one person honks horn 2 streets, 2 roads over, not 2 streets. 5 miles down the road you can hear it, but there was very little. It was windy, so you could hear the trees and the bugs and shit. After hurricanes is rough, especially with just bodies and food starting to pile up. But it was weird seeing it so empty. Like, I was in Baytown and it was jam full of people. So Walmart, bunch of different people. Here, there's just nothing. No emergency people, no sirens, no alarms. You always expect, hell, even a phone off the hook somewhere, beep, beep, beep. But, everybody's on cell phones now, so you don't even get that noise. So it was weird walking back into town like that. Felt like some western ghost town. You walked in and it's just all dead, man. So we went down towards the subdivision. Alright, well, I'm back. Took a late evening stroll over to one of the military, the quote-unquote encampments. I think they're all deserted. There's only a few people there. But let's see if they got any new gear to drop and try to barter with one of the guys there on the town low. You can't just walk up to the damn thing, but he definitely runs the thing. But check this out. Dude, I got bottled water. How cool is that? It's the last time we had that. It's not filtered rainwater. You don't have to worry about fucking anything gross. Just a bottle of water. Just things we take for granted back in the day. So we were walking, me and Hal were walking back towards town, these other people, but they weren't close, and nobody was in a hurry to catch up to us, and we were just kind of strolling. But like I said, he was overseas somewhere for the military and had been called back, so apparently, according to him, they knew something was going on, but they didn't think it was this big, so they tried to recall some people, so they weren't just completely blindsided. And man, we were just talking our own, like I told him what I thought, what heard, and it was mostly conspiracy theories, and this will be cleared up hopefully soon, but everything seems to have gone sideways at this point. So we rounded that little S-curve thing, and the old butcher shop was right there, right? The meat market thing. And dude, you could smell it. Oh my God. So apparently because of the hurricane and stuff, I'm guessing they'd lost power, so they just threw out a bunch of stuff. There was buzzards everywhere, but usually they're like circling. There's always like one or two, out in the sticks, right? But these things were stacked up, man. We came around the corner and came out from under the trees and just birds, and they're all fighting over that dumpster. But at the same time, there was that rotten meat smell, and I guess the guys that run it, I don't think Old Man Dora had run it for a while now, he was out there cooking what he could save, I guess. So there was like this cooked meat, awesome smell, right on top of this rancid, horrible, rotten meat smell. And, if nothing else is running, the dumpsters ain't running, so nobody came to throw that thing out. So that was stomach turning and drool inducing at the same time, man. And I realized I hadn't really eaten much since the day before. Walked until we got out of the smell, about a quarter mile, right about to where Triple Bar was, and I stopped, pulled out my pack, and I had a piece of sausage that the guys had cooked at the stores the other day. Pulled it out, broke off a piece, gave it to Hal, so we're just chewing. And I think there's 3 or 4 roads. I think there's 3. That's why they call it Triple Bar. We made it to the second one. He's like, man, I'm down this way. And, it's getting pretty dark, Well, it's not getting pretty dark. It's going to be dark pretty soon. I wasn't going to make it to Dad's without having to walk in the dark. And I told him where I was going, so he's like, dude, it's going to be dark. It's getting, darker now. It's 4 or 5 in the evening. Not quite, daylight savings time, which is something we don't have to really deal with anymore, I guess. But he's like, why don't you come to the house? We're deep in here. You can cover me on the way in. I should have fully stocked food stuff. So, okay. So, we started going down there. Now, it's a little spooky. Like, an open road, there's houses and stuff are set off from the road, so you can kind of see most of the stuff coming at you. But this was like a little suburb, little subdivision, man. The street's wide enough for maybe 2.5 cars, maybe, 3 if one's parked on either side. And the houses are all right there. Anybody can be hiding in between them, because you can reach out of one window and spit on the other one, So, all right. So I had that little shotgun, but I'd have, 7 shells all total. And this guy, he knew he was going, so we kind of covered ourselves down there. We could hear some kind of talking in a couple of houses when we first got there, like they weren't trying to be quiet, right? They were just like having conversations, didn't really care that we were outside or whatever. So we kept going, and this place used to be amazing for trick or treat, man. I hadn't been down here in so long. And so we go down, and he's like, it's a house right here before the turn. And we got there was still a car in the driveway, so he just kind of dropped around and went to banging on the door. The door was screwed up and kind of off the hinges or whatever. So he kicked the door open and then, ducked, and just a blast hit the door. Just pow! So I squat down as fast as my old knees could, try to cover the door, and he's yelling, yeah, it's me. And it was Christine, it was his wife. And she apologizes, run over tears, and everybody's hugging. It's a very Hallmark moment, you know. And I'm still laying there like, man, making sure we're good. Standing up, she kind of cuts me a deep look, but then she just falls into this guy's arms and just starts bawling. You know, just tears, horrible. And let's get in the house, and I looked, and there's a couple people poking their heads out the windows down the road, a couple places, kind of see where the shotgun was. I just kind of waved, and all they see is, hey, there's a shotgun hole in this door, and there's a guy with a shotgun walking into this house, and we don't know him. So I'm expecting just a bullet in the ass as I walk into the door, but I hurriedly step inside and close the door. And he's asking where is the kids up at Plants Wainerdi's like, no, they're hiding in the closet or whatever. So they scramble. He runs in there. She follows him, doesn't sit in there with me. And then I hear, Daddy, and then, big hugs and stuff back there. So I'm not going to intrude on their family thing, right? But so I just kind of sit down on this couch. Doesn't look like they have like a lot of water because, town's relatively high. Part of it's actually called High Heel, alpha only, so it's not going to get a lot of water. But they sit back there. I guess they're catching up on what was going on and whatever. And then I hear a lot of crying, and then him cussing a couple of times. I'm like, what in this shit? And he comes out, and this guy hasn't really shown emotion. I watched him blast that guy out there. It was just like it was taken out of paper, It was just like, hey, what's going on? But this time, this guy was flushed. He was angry. And he just kind of looks at me, and he's like, I got to go do a thing. I said, well, hold up. Like, what's going on? If it's any of my business. He's like, if you're coming with me, I'll explain on the way. I was like, huh? So we get outside, and he gets into his garage, and he's starting to grab all kind of gear, man. But I'm talking like bottle, hammer, some racks. I'm like, what's going on, man? His old lady and kid stayed in the house or whatever. But he rambled off some names I didn't know. He's like, these motherfuckers have been up the road. They always hit on my wife, blah, blah, blah. They knew all this, the world was kind of coming to an end. And so last night they came over, tried to break in the door. That's why it was all rattling loose. And then they got in the house, and I was like, well, okay, say no more, man. You know who these people are over there? There's like this 4 houses down. I said, all right. But there's a couple of them. He's like, yeah, She said there was 3 or 4 of them last night, and I was like, it's okay. Well, then you're going to need help, So I said, what's the plan? He's like, I'm going to go over there, knock on the door, and, anyway, I'm just going to start blasting. I was like, I got a better idea. So, with what gear he had, I got 1 Molotov cocktail made, right? Like poured gasoline in 1 bottle, put the like cloth in it to use as a thing, and then got the gas can. So, well, let's wait till dark. It's almost going to be dark. Give us about 45 minutes, and we're going to go down here. So, it was hard. Had to talk him down. It's like, dude, it's going to be, but if you go down there and do this and then get shot taken out, the kids ain't going to have nobody. And I don't want to get shot in the ass trying to help you out. So let's do a thing, but let's be smart about it, So I had to keep calming him down. He's mad. Tears just running everywhere. This guy is what they call rage, Jack. Like, this guy was mad. So got over the dark. We walked down the house, quiet as we could, and he showed it to me. And I said, dude, it's made out of wood. He said, what? I said, most of these houses around here are brick. This is a wood house. He goes, yeah. I said, well, there's a fence. Most of it's torn down around here. So wait till I give you the signal, and then do what you gotta do. And he said, what's the signal? I was like, and I tried to be all cool like in the movies. I was like, you'll see it. He's like, no, what's the signal? I was like, fire. Okay. So I snuck around back. They didn't have anybody on post. These people weren't thinking military and that kind of stuff. Personally, I was thinking society shot people, is just gone, like either we'll catch up and we'll have to defend it later, or just society's over with and this is how we're going to start it off and kick it off. So poured gasoline all over the back of the wall, porch, mostly the door, backed up, lit the cocktail, threw it, smashed it, lit it on fire, and then hid back there with that shotgun. They opened the door. They would have said about like, fire, and they all went running out the front door, right into Hal with his rifle, and he took out all 4 of them before I could even get up there and put a round in them. We didn't worry about putting out the house and stuff. He ran in and checked to make sure nobody else was in there, cleared it all. I watched the door, made sure nobody run down the hallway to come get us, but yeah, so I ended up crashing the house that night, man. Alright. Well, I was going to record some more last night, but it was raining so hard on that tin roof of that whole barn, man. Like, I could barely hear myself talk, let alone go through the recording. So, I'm just out and about today. I figured I'd sit by this little drainage ditch, man. It's one of the few things that we did around here that seems to be holding up after, the fall of humankind. The drainage is doing pretty well. Over down there, there's a bunch of like logs and stuff cleaned up. A big storm comes through and it kind of washes all the brush out. So, all right. So, So I stayed at the house place that night. Uh, just kind of watched the door, seeing if anybody was going to come retaliate for what we did. At about 3 o'clock, we did kind of go outside and see a bunch of people staring at the house that was burning down to nothing that we had left. But it was, down to, just the rubble. It hadn't burned that long, but it didn't burn anywhere else, right? Just a bunch of people standing around talking about it. So I just kind of put my head around the corner, kind of saw what was going on, and went, okay. So I didn't spend a quality night of sleep on the couch. Rarely do. But I would give almost anything to sleep on a couch right now, man. This old cot is just worn the hell out. But I guess the apocalypse, it's hard to keep track of that shit. So, someday I'm going to loot a good house. It's going to have a nice bed and not a lot of black mold. That'll be nice. It's good to have goals, isn't it? So, woke up. We busted open some MREs. Me, Hal, housewife, Alice, if I remember, and I can't remember his daughter's name. She was sweet though, little kid, 8 or 9 or something like that. And she would just show me her drawings and what dolls that she had and whatever. And they were packing up to leave, right? So they packed up what they could. They made plans to come back. Like everybody, like you think the world is ending, but you have every hope that humanity is better than that and will come back. Like everything that you've put in, like buying a house, buying a car, and all that shit, will, always be there to come back to. But what if it isn't? But you always hope that it is. I have no faith in humanity. Like, it's the last few days as anything. It shows that I have no faith in humanity. But if he comes back, that's fine. So he packed what he could, locked up as best he could, and headed out. And I was going to walk him back to where he was going to leave over on the road, man. I think it's 646 over there. And we walked out, and man, you could see smoke in a bunch of different places. I don't know if people just got the same idea as us, or if just it's been that long after the storm, or what happened. But you can see at least 3 of these big black pillars of smoke, around town, coming up over the trees in the distance. Like, well, something's on fire, man. And there's no fire trucks, no fire alarms. But as we got closer to the road, we did hear motors. Like, we were walking and we're talking, and they were talking about going north towards Dallas, up in the hill country somewhere. He's got kinfolk that way. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, but gotta go check on the family. And we could hear them in the distance. And it's big, rough, like diesel engines. We're like, well, maybe they're sending somebody down here. Maybe it's the invading army. So we're kind of, oh shit, kind of curious about it. So we get closer to the road, and here comes this cop car. Now, I couldn't read what the sign said. It was some name of a town with a D in it. It wasn't a local cop car. And it sees us there, and this guy just slides to a stop in the middle of the road. There's busted cars everywhere, and flood bullshit and whatever, and we don't see any other people. This guy slides to a stop, jumps out with a pistol, and puts it on both of us. We're standing there. He's got his rifle. His old lady, she's got a rifle. I got a shotgun, and there's this kid. So they close up and cover the kid. I kind of divide, cut the pie to the right a little bit to try to bull him away from everybody else. And this guy starts yelling, get on the ground, drop the weapons, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of, squashed behind the car. He's on the other side of the car. Like he was driving, driver's side's on the other side. He was going to our right. So he's got the car in between us and him. And we're like, why? What's going on? Like, who are you talking to? And this guy said, I am the cop. I tell you what to do, blah, 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 blah. Just yelling, nonsensical, just loud. And as somebody who has worked in that kind of field and has been around people, especially doing security and bouncing and fighting and stuff, when people are nervous, when your nerves are up, your voice goes up. Like, it gets squeakier. It's just natural physiology, man. Just your voice gets squeaky. It happens. This guy is squeaking out, man. Like, he's almost like on helium. Like, this guy's barking. So I kind of squatted down. I can't get up in a hurry, So we're still on a little road to Triple Bar, whatever road that is, E-Bar, A-Bar, whatever the hell they call them. And, I'm not going to drop that shotgun. It's the only weapon I got right now, other than the pistol in my bag, so I'm not going to freak out. So I just squat down on one knee, put mine down. They're over to the side. They're kind of off in the ditch where they can just kind of set them out to the right, And he comes around that car, and he's like, get on the ground, interlace your fingers, just trying to give us the whole felony stop treatment. And I'm just like, what in the hell is this guy going on about, man? And he wanted to do it. You do what I tell you. So he gets just this side of the car, and he's got this gun pointed at me. Now, this is the 4th, 5th gun I've had pointed at me in as many days, man. I don't like that. Nobody enjoys having a gun pointed at them. Like, I guess there's probably somebody in the world, or used to be somebody in the world, that enjoys that, but I am not that one. And he's coming over, around in that car, and dude, you're hearing just kind of, and it just zones in. It's, I can't really hear anything. Even what he's screaming is muffled, because my adrenaline's going. So I'm sure if I talked, I'd be talking like a chipmunk, He gets just this kind of car, and just out of nowhere, this tractor just plows into him. It's like a cartoon. I always wondered how the cartoons or the movie show somebody coming and they just don't see the 18-wheeler just come out of nowhere. Neither one of us probably heard it. But he just, hit him. And just left, like the tractor, clobbered him. And they just kept going, and I was like, what in the hell was that? And look up, and I can see the ass end of this tractor. The tractor's going, and it's got, like a, brush hog on the back of it, but it's also got, like, Confederate flags on each of the wheel wells. Like, actually, like, big 3x5 flags, like it was half of a parade or some shit. And it spins around, and this cop's laying over there, 20 yards up like a street. We snatch our weapons up and we're beat it up like, what in the actual hell? Him and his kids and stuff. Him and his kid and his wife, they start backing up. And I got a line on him, and I'm like, what in the actual hell's going on? And that cop's laying there, and he is busted. He doesn't have a gun anymore. He is laying out there, but he's moaning. That tractor spins around. He comes back, and I see him as he's coming back. He lowers that fucking brush hog, and you can hear that PTO crank up, and he mows this guy down. Like, forgive the pun, but I fucking like it, so I'm keeping it. But he goes over this guy, and you can hear it. It's like taking a machete to a wet ham. If you've ever heard that noise, like I'm the one with the weird Thanksgiving back in the day, whatever. But that's what it sounded like over and over, and the screaming, and then the screaming stopped, and you just hear that metal grinding or whatever. And it disengages, picks up, and just leaves a bloody mess where this guy was. And we're just still standing there like, what in the fuck just happened? We just watched a scene from, like, Hillbilly Saw, Like, what the shit? Well, this guy starts yelling. Guns, you're going to have to give me the guns. He produces a pistol, big-ass revolver, and whatever, starts yelling as the tractor's, like, creeping over, like he's got to have it in first. And he's creeping this way. And before I can say anything, Hal just shoots his, pow, hits him, his wife shoots him, pow, this guy just drops. Tractor's rolling, Hal runs up, catches it, climbs on top of it, because it was just idling in first as it was going forward, just creeping. And they get it shut down, and I'm like, what in the actual fuck? He's like, this is a tractor. I said, yes, I know. What's going on? He starts pulling the flags off and chunking them in the ditch. And I said, yeah, you take the tractor, get the hell out of here, go north. I'm guessing because the tractors are running very simple. A lot of the old ones, like this one handed me from the 60s, 70s, didn't have like computer chips and shit, and would get fried. And the good old boys would have got their stuff up and running first. So, yeah, he was got to go north. I said, let's get the hell out of here before this gets crazy. He tells me he hates to leave me on foot. I was like, I got a cop car. Don't sweat it. I don't know what the hell happened to that guy's gun. Think about it, I didn't even think to look for it. I was like, screw it, I got a shotgun, got a car. So, thanks, goodbye, blah, blah, blah. I told him he knows where to find me. I'd given him the address of where Dad was, whatever. So he put him and his wife on one wheel and on the wheel well, and his daughter on the other. They turned off and took off north. And I went over, got in that car, turned off all the flashy lights and all the noise and stuff, and so I started going south. I didn't go 2 blocks before I recognized an ex-girlfriend's house. She was a friend of mine for years, and we dated for years, and we split up, and we were still friendly. But it was her house, and it was one of the ones that was on fire. So I had to stop and check it. I had to go and see if there was anything going on.